And BladeCenter does fit in and enables smarter computing. So example, if you look at the data, we've got a 2-socket blade that when you plug it into the chassis can pump 80 gigabits per second, 80 gigabits per second from your network, from your storage device to the server. That's a large amount of data that you can move. And then once it's in the server, we've got 2-socket blades with over half a terabyte of memory so that you can quickly drive that data to the CPU for processing. In terms of tuned to the task, I mentioned we've got multiple choices in terms of the chassis to fit specific environments. We've got multiple servers, both x86, non-x86. And then we've got some specific tools to help you provision that hardware and work with your virtualization software to do some advanced capabilities. As an example, we have the ability through predictive failure analysis to determine if a component is about to fail before it fails. We can deliver that notification to VMware and work with our systems director software to actually move virtual machines from servers that are about to fail to servers that are not failing, so you can proactively respond to a potential fault. Getting a little bit more detailed, a lot of customers ask me or tell me that, look, all x86 servers are the same. It's all commodity. There are actually some specific differences where I can demonstrate that it's not a commodity, especially in a virtualized environment. So we've partnered with VMware. We've partnered with Intel to deliver unique capabilities that you can't find in other x86 servers. So in this example, on the right-hand side, you have an IBM HX5 blade. This is our 4-socket Intel blade using Intel's E7 7 series processors running vSphere 5. We've got 10 VMs running on it. On the left-hand side, you have a non-IBM 4-socket x86 server running the same virtualization stack. While there are errors in memory that can occur, single-bit errors that are today handled by what is called ECC memory, error-correcting memory. These single-bit errors do happen, and fortunately, we have the technology already in place where we can detect the error and we can make sure that the virtual machines are not affected if we do run into the error. The error is logged. It's logged for predictive failure analysis so that you can proactively go in and swap out the memory that's bad, and then you're still up and running. Well, most errors that occur in memory are not single-bit. They're multi-bit. So what happens if you have a multi-bit memory error? We call it an uncorrectable memory error. Well, we both report that memory error to ESXi, whether you're running an IBM system or a non-IBM system. But the difference is, with VMware ESXi 5, we're actually able to isolate the error to the specific virtual machines that might be affected by that error. If you can't isolate the error, the best you can do is reboot your system and you get the purple screen of death. So with the system on the left, all your virtual machines go down. You have to reboot. With the system on the right, we can isolate the error to the specific virtual machine that's affected. We can mark that memory location as bad so that the system doesn't use that memory location again. And then with disaster recovery services, we can redistribute that virtual machine either on the same server or another server. So you reboot a single VM rather than having to reboot your entire server. So that's a difference that does matter, especially as you're trying to run more virtual machines on fewer systems. And that's enabled by a combination of IBM working with VMware and IBM working with Intel. All right, so talking about some of the specific solutions we've announced recently. First, Foundation. If you look at the spectrum of x86 virtualization solutions, the first part of that spectrum really is the hardware foundation, a platform to run virtualization. And that includes your servers, your networking, your storage, and a certain level of management to provision and manage the virtual machines. If you move up the stack and you want to go to cloud, you add software that introduces some basic provisioning, self-service portal, and some automation so that now you can deploy virtual machines in a much faster manner. And then finally, you can go full bore, add additional advanced cloud capabilities, including chargeback, metering, scheduling, and full service orchestration. So you have a spectrum of going from just the platform that supports virtualization all the way up to soup to nuts, a full virtualization platform. And within IBM, we have 3 names for those. And I'll focus on the ones on the left. We have Foundation for Cloud, we have Starter Kit for Cloud, and then we've had, for a while now, the product on the right, CloudBurst. So what is Foundation for Cloud? We announced this actually in ANZ about a year ago when we called it Vibe. We recently announced it globally, and we're calling it Foundation. And it is a foundation, a hardware foundation for virtualization. So first of all, it's a BladeCenter platform. We talked about why BladeCenter makes sense for virtualization and cloud. So we start with BladeCenter that has converged networking. We add some Blade servers in 3 flavors, small, medium, and large, that has pre-integrated ESXi. And then we offer a choice of storage, whether that's IBM storage or give you the capability to plug into the storage that you already own. So just taking a little bit closer look at what Foundation is made up of, from a server perspective, it includes a couple of servers from our portfolio, including that HX5 blade that I described, that has higher level of RAS. From a networking perspective, we have solutions from IBM Networking that provide full convergence FCOE capability, including the ability to run FCOE inside the Blade chassis, but still connect externally to your legacy Ethernet and fiber channel switches. From a storage perspective, we offer our DS3500 series of storage, or as I mentioned, if you have your own storage infrastructure already established, you can plug into that infrastructure. And then from a management capability, we offer a full suite from hardware provisioning to some capabilities to manage the virtual machines. So this is the foundation. Now it comes pre-integrated, pre-installed, so that you don't have to go through a menu of 100 or 200 specific options and try to figure out what's the best hardware platform to run my virtual machines. We've selected the components to narrow that choice down to a minimal set, depending on how many virtual machines you want to run. And obviously, from our perspective, these ingredients that make up that foundation are better ingredients. So you get a better virtual foundation solution. I already mentioned some of the benefits we have in terms of the HX5 blade. From a networking perspective, we still see a lot of customers who aren't comfortable converging end-to-end. So we do have a solution that runs convergence FCOE inside the chassis, but we also have a solution that just runs 10 gig Ethernet. We also have a solution that can connect to 1 gig Ethernet, depending on where you are on the path to convergence. From a storage perspective, it's not only our DS series, but we have a product called StoreWise V7000 that can actually virtualize all of your existing storage infrastructure and treat it as a big pool of resources. So if you put StoreWise V7000 as the front end, whether you have IBM or non-IBM storage in your data center, you can actually leverage V7000 to manage and provision all the storage in your data center. And then finally, from a management perspective, we have a single management construct for your entire data center, not just your virtual foundation, not just x86, but Unix, mainframe storage, networking, all managed through the same user interface and the same umbrella brand. So on top of this foundation, last week we announced a product called Starter Kit for Cloud. And what Starter Kit for Cloud does is it takes your virtualized infrastructure from cloud ready to cloud. And that can be the foundation offering that I just described, or it could be the existing hardware that you already own. And Starter Kit for Cloud provides some of the basic core features that you need to run cloud computing, including a self-service portal, rapid provisioning, resource management, cataloging of your virtual machines, and it's tightly integrated with VMware's vCloud Director. So why would you need it? Well, first of all, it comes in very small bite sizes. So depending on how big your virtual infrastructure is, you can do it at a chassis at a time. You can use your own hardware, as I mentioned, and it'll fit into the data center that you already own. So you can reuse your capital investments and still move to a cloud model. And then it adds all the benefits that you would typically see from cloud computing in terms of simplifying the management and provisioning of your workloads. There's some automated discovery of both the physical as well as your virtual assets in your data center. And we have role-based driven user interface where you can create specific roles for specific users so that you have a new level of security that you can also enforce. So that's Starter Kit for Cloud. So, to summarize, obviously, virtualization and cloud computing are key components of a smarter computing, and it does help to improve efficiencies, but it's not the only answer. So we do have our smarter computing strategy at its core is virtualization and cloud, but there are other components as well. We are a major consumer of cloud computing within the IBM organization, and we try to leverage that expertise to help other organizations also realize the benefits of cloud. We talked about blades and how blades are a natural fit for virtualization. They create some of the same benefits that a lot of customers are looking for in virtualization and cloud. Our foundation for cloud offering offers a pre-integrated, easy to order, easy to install hardware foundation to run virtualization. And then the starter kit for cloud solution adds on top of that the core features to move from cloud ready to actually deploying a cloud model in bite-sized pieces. So with that, I just want to mention I will be in the IBM booth for the next hour. So if you want to stop by and talk about these solutions or some of our other smarter computing solutions, feel free to stop by and do so. Thank you for your time.